All right, we are about live. Let's see. Oh, get out of here. Okay, we are live. Okay, what's up, everybody? Thank you guys for joining in. This is a random, I don't even want to call it a podcast, but a cooperative discussion, and I've been wanting to do this because my guest here has put up this one video that I watched like twice on my lunch break at work. I don't know if I got to tell you that, but that's what I did. I watched it twice, and I'm like, hey, this doesn't seem too like far like off. This seemed like there could be something here, and I really wanted to get like some more information. But before we talk and more into this, DreamcastGuy, please shout yourself out.
Hey, I'm DreamcastGuy. I review a bunch of stuff, and I do a lot of rants, which is what we're kind of talking about today.
Yeah.
Just a couple days ago, earlier this week, I talked about the prospects of a possible partnership between Nintendo and Xbox, and to me, it seems like a likely possibility. So I'm happy to talk further about it.
Awesome. And I was just kind of like sprung up on the idea because, and it almost, the topic almost bled over into a serious discussion on playing Xbox. But I was like, no, because some of these questions I really want to ask and get your thoughts on it as well, of what that possibility could mean. And of course, we're going to bring up a couple of points from your videos. But you got use. Where did this kind of rumor come from? Was this something you found on online or what?
It is. I've heard it circling from a lot of different places, so I can't pin down. One of the main places I've seen though is a lot of people talking about it on Twitter, and I've seen it passed around a little bit on not NeoGaf. What is it called? Reset Era, yeah. Which is the main thing that kicked this all off. Is I've heard that Microsoft was interested in purchasing Discord. Now, the reason that specifically was so interesting to me is because I'm actually friends with a couple of the people in Discord just by accident. Like, I was friends with a couple PR people who happened to get hired at Discord, and everybody at Discord is super, super happy. But there was one thing that they've all been talking about a lot, which is that they are hungry to get in bed with Nintendo. Like, let's face it, as great as the Nintendo Switch is, and as much as I play mine all the time, a big problem is that talking to other people in this is currently impossible. So I've seen Discord specifically and repeatedly approach Nintendo offering to do all the work on a voice chat app. So with how much we've seen Microsoft trying to integrate themselves into the online of Nintendo, it seems likely to me that we could see some sort of Discord Nintendo Microsoft partnership.
Now, we all know this, like as far as how crossplay, you know, Microsoft has been a big advocate for crossplay. There's a lot of game developers been a big advocate for crossplay, and you know, the only two consoles that are communicating with crossplay is Xbox and Switch. You know, even there, I don't even think there's a Switch PlayStation crossplay. It's Xbox Switch PC Xbox, PC Switch, whatever, and only PlayStation PC type crossplay. But as far as consoles go, we know with the Minecraft, Rocket League, there's another oh my god, there's another other game that's going to be doing a crossplay. And
Battle Rat's going to have that soon as well, I think. That's that's upcoming though.
Yeah. So, and it's like, okay, but the thing is, you know what's funny? And as you were saying, and I was trying to find the tweet before we did this podcast, but it was on March. What day was it? It was like 3 days after I got the Nintendo Switch. I tweeted Mikey Barr. I said, how I wish that Xbox Live could be on a Switch. And Mikey Barr replied, so do we. And I'm like, oh shit, and I retweeted it, and I'm sitting there looking through my tweet. I was like, why can't I find this tweet? Because it was just like, man, that would be like pretty awesome. And my biggest complaint was because the lack of, like, you know, voice chat, and then I need some sort of achievement support. So and those were like the two key things. And but the funny thing that you bring this up, what would now other than Discord, because Discord, we know how Microsoft is trying to get the integration. We don't. Right now, I don't know of any acquisitions between Microsoft and Discord, but it seems like it's something that's trying to get done. What does a Nintendo and Microsoft partnership potentially look like? And not only that, I got a follow-up question to you for that. What does it look like? And we know Microsoft has a lot to offer Nintendo, but in a partnership of that magnitude, does Nintendo have anything to offer Microsoft?
That's the one big thing here is Nintendo very much is what they call the walled garden strategy. They keep all their IP, they keep everything they own in this giant box, and they don't let anybody even take a peek in it. So I think the most they're going to do is open up the vault for stuff that has a more blurry line between it, like the original Conker's Bad Fur Day. Yeah. Like, I think the original Conker's Bad Fur Day, there's music that's owned in there, so we're not allowed to see that on any other console. And GoldenEye, that's another example from the Nintendo 64 era where a lot of those assets are owned by Nintendo. So even though that's a game that another company owns, it can't ever end up getting sold digitally. And whenever I see stuff like, recently they did the re-release of Turok on Xbox One, and it's crazy good. It's it's weird. It's weird how well that game aged, and how just the tiniest bit of re-cleaning up actually makes that miraculous. So I feel like Nintendo will probably allow stuff like that, where they're going to get stuff that they weren't personally using but are in their vault and put that out, because honestly, it's more money for them. And it's more advertising for them. But I feel like this is going to mostly be Microsoft trying to put themselves on the Switch more than the Switch trying to get on Xbox.
Gotcha. And because that makes sense. How I looked at it, it was like, even though I thought of the idea that maybe, how Nintendo is finally gonna have a paid service, right? An online service. And I said to myself, well, maybe unofficially that their online system is actually provided by Xbox Live. Maybe some sort of modified version that is provided by Microsoft for them, which could unlock a few things. But you were about to say something.
No, I heavily think that is a distinct possibility. I'll be 100% honest. If that's what we see, I won't be shocked at all. Just because Xbox Live has actually been the best online service structurally for decades, because it doesn't go down. It does. I don't think Games with Gold is the best, but let's face it, their voice chat is the strongest. They have the most online stuff for sitting. They were the first people to have voice messages. They were the first people to have Skype. So I feel like they understand the online infrastructure more. So I feel like they've definitely floated it to Nintendo of, hey, bro, almost like a mafia boss of being like, hey, bro, online is my town. And if you want to come into my town, just give me a cut. Especially because, so I want to say, there was a leak. This is a supposed leak that came out about 30 hours ago that I think is really interesting. And a lot of people are discrediting it, but we'll know if it's true or not. Yeah. And it's a leak saying that Nintendo was going to do a mini direct on Monday, the 7th, which is my birthday. No big deal.
Day after my birthday. Oh, 6 of the 7th? Oh my God, yo! Holy shit!
So, this mini direct is apparently going to be focusing on the features of the online service. Apparently, they're trying to kind of get this hyped up before E3. And so, a lot of the stuff they're saying is that the online service for Nintendo Switch is going to launch on September 24th, and it's going to have a dedicated voice chat through a special external service, probably being Discord. If you pay for the online, you're going to have access to Discord, so you can voice chat to all the people that are on your Discord friends list or your Nintendo friends list. eShop discounts, and it says a Games with Gold style membership, where you're given a free retro game every month on the service, and as long as you keep paying for it, you keep getting it. So when I hear stuff like that, it makes me think even more so that they could have some sort of thing where maybe you sign up for the service, and if you have Xbox Live, it's only $5 more, or if you pay for the Nintendo online, you may get discount Games with Gold or something. I feel like there's a lot of extra options there if they do join forces.
Yeah, and that's crazy. The fact that because I didn't catch that leak, so that's news to me. But then again, I'm dropping a chat real quick just so you can glance this while we're talking.
This is a repost of it, but this is basically, and it's long, and a lot of the stuff they're talking about here is just Black Ops trying to have crossplay with Xbox. Black Ops 4 Battle Royale is coming to Switch with crossplay with Xbox. Yeah, so it's just a lot of stuff like that. And basically a lot of these notes are just basically pointing out the fact that it sounds like Xbox could be trying anything that can reasonably, because that's the biggest thing, is they want this to be a reasonable partnership. Yeah. Like, Microsoft is doing as good as they can. Nintendo Switch is doing as good as they can. Nobody wants to just throw out all their cards and sacrifice the goat. Yeah,
that's and the thing is, I see this as a possibility of Microsoft trying to reach the 2 billion gamers, right? You can't do that just with an Xbox One or in Windows 10. Possibly, no, you can't. So you got to think mobile. You got to think they can technically do this without having to even work with Sony, and because you have the mobile market, you have Apple, you have Google, you have Mixer, you have you have Windows, and you have Nintendo, who they've been really cooperative with. Like, Microsoft and Nintendo have done things in the past. We got to talk of Banjo. They would allow Banjo to be used on Smash Brothers if they wanted to, or we got the they were able, the fact that they did the Minecraft, and you can use Master Chief in the on the Minecraft on Switch.
And that was crazy. That was Microsoft came out on during their press conference last year. They were talking about the Nintendo Switch was actually on the Microsoft stage last year, and they clearly they did all the programming to make crossplay available, and that was a huge initiative. They were talking about that they were doing what was it called, Play with Anyone initiative, or what was it?
Yeah, the Minecraft play. Oh my God, I remember I lost my mind when I saw the image of the Switch on there. I'm like, what? So it was like that was pretty dope. I do remember, because I was at E3 when I seen that, and I was asking everybody, I was like, did you guys see the Switch on Microsoft's a part of the Minecraft crossplay? Did you see the Switch? Did you see the Switch? And nobody saw. I was like, how did you not catch that? Like,
it was called the Better Together update.
Yeah, the Better Together.
And even a name like that sounds like they're trying to make more friends in other consoles. It just sounds like one of those things to be like, look, there are enough Xboxes out there that we're making a profit, but if we want to get into more homes, sometimes you got to be willing to grease some wheels, you know?
You got to understand, and I think of, this is how I look at things, is that we know, all right, Microsoft is getting a teeth kicked in as far as console sales, right?
Yeah, badly.
As far as console sales, we know that there's no hiding that. But for some reason, I just got this feeling that they're ahead of the curve in another direction that I don't think we're all ready, or we're not prepared for, or even at least that I don't think Sony's prepared for. Because if you think about it, right? Think about next generation. Even if you start thinking about next generation, newer consoles, right? Come on, right? Fortnite is going to be on the Switch. Fortnite can run on your iPhone, right? So you kind of start to think about, man, do I really need a PlayStation 5 or the next Xbox? Or is it going to be such a requirement to get those games if you're looking at games like Fortnite and PUBG being able to run on your tablet and phone? Like, do I really need a $500, $600 box upgrade in 2 years if all these games should be able at this point to scale to any platform? And so it's like, and now I'm thinking, and I'm like, okay, Microsoft kind of have an idea of how much where their cap is on how much Xbox they can sell, but they know they can reach more people, right? So the fact that looking at Game Pass and saying, okay, it's probably going to be a streaming version of it pretty soon, along with the native version that the consoles got, the Xbox consoles got, I can see something like that being offered onto the Switch and other platforms, even onto the phone, because people forget this whole UWP thing was done to allow games to be made and to work across all platforms regardless of the specs. You know what I mean? Whatever spec you have, a most powerful console or PC, yes, you're going to be able to get the best out of that game, or your platform's going to be able to take advantage of it. If you have the OG Xbox or a weak PC or a freaking iPhone, it's going to be able to run it. And we're seeing this happen. Fortnite and PUBG is the perfect example. Now, the thing about those games just can't thrive on just being off all those platforms. They thrive even more if the games are open for everybody to play together. And every developer that's making multiplayer games, I don't know if any of you guys checked out my Guns of Icarus live stream before they launched. The interview that Weaponwood had with Rocket League, the people at Fortnite, everybody is shooting for cross-platform play.
Yeah.
Because that's how these games are going to survive. And if you have Microsoft having they're even working with other hardware team like Nintendo and stuff like that, and making this thing available, like, hey, we're open to it, and people not realizing Microsoft bought a couple back-end places that are responsible for like what's like pretty much free-to-play models and crossplay. They bought companies that specialize in the back end of that. And that's going to come into play soon. And I feel like a lot of developers and publishers are going to be on board with that. And I think to a certain degree, you're going to have an industry pretty much in a gaming spectrum where you have everyone else and then you have PlayStation. And I think the Microsoft Nintendo somewhat hybrid partnership could be the start of that.
Well, it makes it seem like, so let's face it, in the PlayStation 3 at the beginning was getting dominated for a long time out of the gate. The high price point and the fact that it was very difficult to program for held it back for a long time.
Yeah.
So because of it, Microsoft was able to just run laps around them. And now we've seen tables turn.
Yes.
And when a company is down like that is when they suddenly get real creative.
Yeah.
So it seems like, in my mind, I visualize it as it seems like Nintendo and Microsoft are trying to make it look like they have this big-ass party over here. You want to be involved. Our games all play together. You can get DLC that's supposed to be PC exclusive on the Xbox. If you want to try early access stuff, you can do that. The Nintendo Switch has weird indie games that you probably aren't going to see anywhere else, or games that like are really out there. It seems like they're trying to build up this knot of good games over here. That way, even though the PlayStation is selling really good and has crazy good exclusives, eventually, when the next generation rolls around, it's going to kind of be like, okay, do you want to join the party, or do you want to join like this monolith over here?
Stop. Hold on. No, you can't go. All right, go ahead. My bad.
No, just that is, I think that they're trying to make it where their product becomes so enticing it's harder to ignore. Because the big thing right now is I think coming up on 80 million people have a PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
I feel like they're coming up to the cap. I feel like there are only so many hundreds of millions of people who even want a PS4.
Yeah.
So I feel like as we go into the next generation, which is coming up soon, I feel like Microsoft could be just trying to hedge their bets now and make people actually take them seriously when the Xbox 2 comes out and the Switch Pro or whatever comes out.
Yeah, I think the way that things are headed, because it's like it's to a situation where the way that the generation, I'm not taking the next generation seriously. Will I be there day one? Sure. But I'm looking at them really now as glorified Xbox One X, PlayStation 4 Pro 2s, like stuff like that. Like I'm looking at them as another, because it can't be any other way. I can't see a generation now where both Xbox and PlayStation move on and nothing's moving forward. I don't see them as a complete restarts. I don't see it because I don't think they can survive. I feel like they have to go somewhat for these consoles and stuff to survive. They have to go somewhat hybrid mobile model, how our phones are doing, you know. They come, but everything has to just move forward. And I think the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox, whatever, is going to just be slightly better versions of the systems we got now, because I don't think they can jump too much without being too expensive. But the thing is, we kind of already know what Microsoft plans are, even though for some people it's hard to accept. The fact that Xbox honestly is just going to be another place for you to play these games just a certain way. How I feel, whether it be an Xbox One S, Xbox One X, or the Xbox One X2, that's how I feel. Because how are you going to reach that 1 billion plateau? What the thing is, Microsoft, I feel like it's on their way to literally owning a great portion of gaming. They own a Havoc engine, man. They own. They're about to buy another freaking cloud service to add in with the big service that they have already. They own PlayFab, who who's masters at monetizing games. Like that's who they own. That's who. And you know, PlayFab services PlayStation games as well. Havoc is on PlayStation games as well. So it's like the way how I look at Microsoft. It's like, okay, I see where they're going. I see where the money's coming from, and I see how they can potentially thrive. Without selling game busters of Xbox One consoles, you know. So yeah. I think the reason why I want this thing to be real. Hey, this could be a pipe dream. This could be like it's just a overblown rumor, and we're just wasting time talking about it, right? Yeah. The thing is because I really want to play my Switch more than I do. My Switch is my least played platform. I often just give it to my son to play so he can stop annoying me. The thing is, I want to be able. The thing is, I don't have an incentive to play it. I'll play the game here and there. But the thing is, the fact that the game, I feel like the console isn't keeping me connected. Like I enjoy going on PlayStation. I enjoy going on my Xbox. I like looking at my accolades. I like looking at everything I've done from this point forward and what I did in the past and having all that there. It's just obviously I don't even use the phone and just jump in a party or something like that and talk to friends and get achievements and stuff like that. So if the Switch can get to that direction, I don't care who they got to get the help from, whether it be Sony or Microsoft. And if it's Microsoft, I'm freaking happy because I know what to expect. And you were in a podcast when we started Weapon Wheel, when we were talking about the Discord thing, right? Where they were talking about it. I was like, hey, and I said, dude, I want this Discord thing to be legit, because not only do I want Discord to be on Xbox, I would hope that Discord end up landing on Nintendo's platform and Sony's platform. So therefore, the voice chat is like, regardless of what you're playing on, we all get to talk and play with whatever, and hopefully that will push more of cross-play at that point.
Well, I just feel like that's the last barrier. I actually love my Nintendo Switch, and I play it quite a bit. Especially stuff, I'm so addicted to Splatoon, but there is the big barrier of I hate that it is impossible to communicate. That is a barrier, and I feel like Papa Microsoft could step up to the plate and be like, hello, Nintendo. You guys may be the oldest people in the business, but let me show you the internet. Like, I feel like the online is actually pretty stable for the Switch, especially the fact that it's been free so far. But man, does it need voice chat. Man, does it need a better friends list. And I feel like Microsoft could just introduce so much that would help them out. So I'm hoping this whole Discord partnership is real, and I'm hoping that they go further to integrate Xbox Live into the Switch.
Because we seen what Microsoft did before once they because Discord, for this whole integration, the way that they talked about Discord being on your Xbox, they made it like a big deal. It's like, oh, okay, like, you know what I mean? It reminds me.
I think it's starting rough. Like, it's really limited. I think they're just really excited to be on a console, so they're putting it out in a very alpha version. Yeah,
but it reminds me though. The thing is, because when Microsoft gets something and they take control of it, they make it part of the a part of the system. Like, for example, I don't know if you recall how this whole Beam now Mixer thing happened, right? Remember, the biggest thing about Xbox is that Twitch was just like there. It was at that. It was Twitch that you would stream straight from the console, right? And then when they acquired Beam and they rebranded it to Mixer, they changed the interface of the console, and Mixer just now built in to the UI. Now it's just like, oh wow, it just like works. It's easy to use, and it's built in it's built into the UI. And I'm like, man, it was like the way that they were going about Discord is like, it was like, okay. So even though you have Skype, you have Xbox Live Party, we have options for that. Why is Xbox making this big deal about Discord? And I'm like, and then I started to think, and that this whole movement, this play together, better anywhere type madness they were doing. And I'm like, yo, if they acquire Discord, I need them. They have to put it on a platform. Sony has to accept it, or even if they don't acquire Discord, Sony and Nintendo need to get that app on their platform, because that's a step in the right direction. But
all right, well, it's been good talking to you, man. I'm gonna round this out. It's pretty late here, and I gotta edit another video. But it's been awesome, and definitely I'll hop back anytime there's another good topic.
Yeah, great. Thank you for joining. Like I said, I enjoyed the video. If you guys haven't seen Dreamcast video about the possibility of Microsoft and Nintendo partnership, check it out. Some lot of good stuff there. And hopefully in the next month or so we'll find out if this is remotely true.
I feel like we're actually going to know in a couple days here. Everybody keep your eyes peeled. Apparently, according to these leaks, they're going to try and talk about this on May 7th is when Nintendo is going to come out saying a partnership with Discord. So in literally 4 days, we're going to figure out if we're breathing out our asses. Awesome.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. So if I don't speak to you, even though I likely will, happy pre-birthday. Our birthdays are a day apart. I'm 6 years.
Hell yeah, man.
Tauruses. All right. So you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks again, Dreamcast Guy, for joining me. As always, Xbox is the best box. I am the best spot. Dreamcast, tell them to keep dreaming.
Keep dreaming.
All right, we out of here. Peace.